There is a profound power in being missed, in knowing that your absence can create an echo more resonant than your presence ever was. Imagine the moments when you are not there, and yet you are the first thought to cross someone's mind. They replay your conversations, envision your reactions, and feel your influence as if you were standing beside them. This is not a matter of manipulation or mind games. This is mastery, mastery of self, of the bearing with which you move through the world, and of the undeniable value you bring to another's life. What if this unforgettable impression, this lasting presence, was rooted in an ancient philosophy that has guided minds for millennia? Today, we delve into the Stoic principles that can make you a lasting presence in anyone's thoughts. This is not about tricks to gain attention. This is about becoming so impactful, so anchored in calmness, virtue, and strength that your influence naturally lingers. The great Stoics, Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, Epictetus, understood this well. They knew the key to being unforgettable lies not in what you say or how often you appear, but in who you are when you do, and even more, how you carry yourself when you step away. I will now guide you through 10 Stoic skills that, once mastered, will not only transform your life, but will ensure that when you are gone, you are the first person they think of. These are principles grounded in wisdom, control, and purpose. By the end, you will hold the tools to become unforgettable, not by chasing attention, but by living in a way that commands respect, curiosity, and admiration. Stay with me as we unlock the Stoic secrets to becoming the kind of person who occupies the mind long after leaving the room. If this exploration of timeless wisdom resonates with you, we invite you to subscribe and join us on this journey. Your support is invaluable as we continue to uncover these profound truths together. Trust that you will not want to miss what is to come, for every skill we cover is essential to becoming truly unforgettable. Let us begin. Our first principle is self-control, the quiet power of calm. Imagine yourself in a heated argument. Emotions are flaring, and everyone expects an explosion, a lashing out, a loss of temper. But instead, you remain composed, calm, and measured. You take a breath, and rather than letting anger take the reins, you respond with clarity and control. In that moment, you demonstrate a power that is deeply memorable. Calm in the midst of chaos is unexpected, and when you are the one to bring that stillness to the storm, it stays in their mind. They will wonder, how did they remain so composed? As Seneca perfectly stated, you have power over your anger if you choose to control it. This isn't about pretending you aren't angry or suppressing your emotions. It is about consciously deciding how you will react. When you control your reaction, you control the situation. You shift the dynamic from chaos to calm, and that kind of control is not just powerful, it is magnetic. People remember the one who stays steady under pressure, who isn't swept away by the tide of emotion. When they think of you, they think of someone grounded, steady, and in command. In a world quick to react, to anger, to let emotion dictate action, you set yourself apart. You become the person others admire, not because you dominate the conversation, but because you dominate yourself. We all have moments where staying calm feels impossible, but self-control is a muscle. The more you practice it, the stronger it becomes. The next time you feel swept away by frustration, pause. Breathe. Remember that you have a choice, to react or to respond. When you respond with calmness, you are not merely altering how you feel, but fundamentally changing how you are perceived, leaving an impression of unshakable inner peace. Second, rational decision-making, the key to being unforgettable. It is easy to mistake this for cold logic or emotionless calculation, but Stoicism teaches that it is something more. It is clarity of thought. It is the art of making choices with intention, not impulse. When you are someone who consistently makes thoughtful decisions, you naturally stand out. You are remembered for your wisdom, your ability to see the larger picture, and your calm, calculated approach in moments of stress. As Marcus Aurelius so wisely observed, the happiness of your life depends on the quality of your thoughts. When you think clearly, you act clearly. When your decisions are guided by wisdom rather than fleeting emotion, you become a person others trust, someone they look to when the path is uncertain. Picture a crisis at work. A major decision looms, and panic sets in. While others rush toward a choice simply to relieve the pressure, you step back. You assess, you weigh the options, and you calmly suggest the best way forward. That is what sets you apart. This quality extends into your personal life. Too often, we make choices based on the feeling of the moment. By approaching decisions from a rational, stoic perspective, you remove unnecessary drama and stress. You are not led by fear or frustration, but by a place of calm understanding. To be the one who stays grounded amidst chaos, who takes the time to think things through. That is a person others remember when life gets difficult. You become a standard for others, who may ask themselves, what would they do? Rational decision-making does not mean ignoring your emotions. It means acknowledging them without letting them steer the ship. As Epictetus taught, it is about owning your reaction and choosing a response that aligns with your deepest values. This kind of considered action has a ripple effect. You become a person of influence. Others seek your advice and trust your judgment. This impact doesn't just make you memorable, it makes you invaluable. Third, resilience in adversity, strength that leaves a lasting impression. This skill is not about simply surviving hard times, but thriving through them. Resilience is the ability to rise after life has knocked you down, and for the Stoics, it is a core philosophy. It is about facing hardship head-on, not with bitterness, but with strength and grace. And in truth, people do not remember the hardship you faced, but how you faced it. The person who refused to give up, who kept moving forward no matter the obstacle. That person is unforgettable. Adversity comes in many forms: a lost job, a broken relationship, a personal setback. It is easy to get stuck, to dwell on what went wrong and let the situation define you. But Stoicism teaches that adversity is not an end, it is an opportunity. As Seneca wrote, a gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials. Hardship is what forges your character. Imagine you are hit with terrible news. While most would be dragged down by the weight of it, you choose to approach it with resilience. You acknowledge the challenge, and you keep pushing forward. You do not let adversity define you. You use it to grow. When people witness this, it leaves a mark. They wonder at your strength. Resilience isn't pretending everything is fine, it's acknowledging the struggle and choosing to move forward anyway. The way you handle adversity becomes part of your story. Think of the most inspiring people you know. Their paths were likely not easy. What sets them apart is their response to those challenges. They used adversity as fuel. Marcus Aurelius captured this perfectly when he wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." In Stoicism, obstacles are not roadblocks. They are the path. Every challenge is a chance to grow. When you embrace this mindset, people see you as someone who doesn't just go through life, but grows through it. That quiet strength is rare, and it is something people never forget. Fourth, mindful presence, the power of being fully there. In an age of constant distraction, the ability to be truly present is perhaps the rarest and most powerful gift of all. When you are fully there, mentally, Emotionally and physically, you offer your undivided attention. People feel it, and they remember it. Consider a time when someone was only half listening to you, their eyes drifting to their phone. You felt unheard, insignificant. Now, imagine the opposite. Someone fully engaged, their gaze steady, listening to every word. The feeling is profound, is it not? That is the power of mindful presence. It makes the other person feel valued, seen, and important. That feeling lingers long after the conversation ends. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "When you arise in the morning, think of what a privilege it is to be alive, to think, to enjoy, to love." This embodies the spirit of presence, recognizing the value of each moment. In our fast-paced world, this kind of focused attention is so different from the norm that it becomes a superpower. It builds deep, meaningful connections. People are drawn to those who make them feel truly heard. The Stoics understood this principle deeply. Epictetus taught that we should focus our attention entirely on what is truly ours to control. In any given moment, that is our attention itself. By not letting your mind wander to the past or the future, realms beyond your command, you anchor yourself in the here and now. Life is a series of moments. The more present you are, the more meaningful your interactions become. When people experience that from you, they feel a connection they crave, and they cannot help but think of the person who gave it to them. Fifth, emotional regulation. The secret to staying on their mind. This is not about the suppression of feeling, nor a pretense of being unaffected. It is about managing your emotions so that you can respond thoughtfully, rather than react impulsively. When you master this, people notice. They remember the person who remains composed and in control, no matter the circumstance. In a world where so many are driven by their emotions, being the one who can maintain their center makes you unforgettable. We all know how easily emotions can get the best of us. A tense situation, a triggering word, and suddenly you've reacted in a way you later regret. Stoicism reminds us that while events may be outside our control, our response to them is always within our power. It is not about denying how you feel, but choosing how you will express those feelings. Think of a time you saw someone lose control. Their emotional reaction only escalated the situation. Now imagine the opposite. In a difficult conversation or under intense pressure, instead of reacting with anger, you pause, you take a breath, and you respond with a quiet clarity that diffuses the tension and commands respect. This deliberate composure is what stays with people, a testament to your inner strength. You take a breath, you gather your thoughts and respond with a quiet clarity. That moment, that's what people remember. They remember the one who maintained their composure, who held their emotions with a gentle hand and answered with grace. This is the art of emotional regulation, a skill that leaves an indelible mark. This isn't about suppressing what you feel or pretending the storm inside doesn't exist. On the contrary, emotional regulation is the practice of awareness. It is noticing the tide of feeling as it begins to rise, and then consciously choosing how to navigate it. Picture yourself as the captain of a ship on a turbulent sea. The waves of emotion crash against the hull, yet your hands are steady on the wheel. You are steering. You refuse to be knocked off course, and that is what captures the attention of others. They see someone who is not swept away by chaos, but who navigates the storm with an unwavering poise. This is especially true in our relationships, both personal and professional. We all face moments that test us: disagreements with a partner, friction with a colleague, the simple stresses of daily life. When you can regulate your emotions, you become an anchor of stability. You are not the one who escalates conflict or adds fuel to the fire. You are the one who diffuses it. bringing a sense of calm and responding in a way that seeks resolution rather than dwelling in the heat of the moment. That is the kind of emotional intelligence that commands admiration. And this is not about being detached or robotic. It is about being intentional. It is knowing when to speak and when to pause. It is responding thoughtfully, even when you feel a fire inside. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Emotional regulation grants you this strength, the strength to manage your reactions and to decide how you appear in every moment, no matter how intense the circumstances. The more you practice this, the more people will notice. They will see you as someone who brings calm to stressful situations, who can handle pressure without faltering. And in truth, we all want to be around a person like that. When others feel they can count on you to remain steady, it builds a profound trust. They begin to associate you with clarity and composure, a memory that will long outlast the moment itself. But the greatest reward is the peace it brings you. When you manage your emotions, you are no longer pulled in every direction by the slightest setback. You are not a vessel for every slight or stressor. Instead, you are centered. You are in command of your own mind and your own actions, and that provides a sense of calm and confidence that is difficult to shake. At the very foundation of an unforgettable life lies the principle of virtuous living. This is the heart of a meaningful existence, not merely being good in some abstract sense, but living in true alignment with your deepest values, making decisions from a place of integrity, and acting in a way that reflects your highest self. When you live with unwavering virtue, people notice. It is a quality that quietly commands respect and admiration, even when left unspoken. The Stoics held virtue in the highest regard. Marcus Aurelius captured this perfectly. Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. This is the essence of a virtuous life. It is action, not proclamation. It is walking the path of integrity, not simply pointing it out. It is about living with honesty and fairness, guided by what you know to be right, especially when no one is watching. That is the key. Virtue is not a performance for applause. It is doing the right thing because it is an extension of who you are. And that kind of integrity does not go unnoticed. Over time, people will see you as someone who stands for something real, someone they can truly trust. That is what makes you unforgettable. In a world where cutting corners and compromising values can seem the easier path, living with virtue is a rarity. When faced with a shortcut or a small deception, many might not hesitate. But you do. You choose to adhere to your values, even if it means a harder, longer road. That choice, that profound integrity, creates a lasting impression. Others may not speak of it in the moment, but they recognize it as a mark of true character. Virtue is not about perfection. It is about the constant striving to be the best version of yourself. It is about holding yourself to a standard that reflects the person you aspire to be, not just when life is easy, but especially when it is difficult. It means being honest when it is uncomfortable, kind when it is easier to be indifferent, and doing what is right even when it is the harder choice. People remember those who live with this kind of integrity. When you are the person who can be trusted to do what's right, consistently and without hesitation, you leave a mark. It distinguishes you in a world of convenience. And it is not just about the grand, dramatic moments. It is woven into the small things. How you treat those around you, how you handle your responsibilities, and how you show up day after day. Do you keep your word even when it is difficult? Do you treat others with respect even when you stand to gain nothing? These small acts of virtue accumulate. They build a reputation, and over time, people come to associate you with that integrity. It is the foundation of respect, and respect is one of the most powerful ways to make a lasting impression. There is also a deep, personal peace that comes from living virtuously. When your life is aligned with your values, you no longer second-guess your decisions. You are not torn between what is right and what is easy, because the choice has already been made. That inner peace radiates outward. It makes you more confident, more centered, and ultimately, more memorable. People are drawn to those who seem at ease with themselves, who exude a quiet strength that comes only from living authentically. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." When you live virtuously, you are not just making good choices, you are shaping your very character. Those decisions become who you are, the essence of your reputation, your legacy, and how you will be remembered. There is a profound grace in accepting what is, in embracing reality as it presents itself. This is not a passive surrender, not a resigned sigh of defeat. Stoic acceptance is a far deeper practice. It is about recognizing the truth of a situation, no matter how challenging, and then deciding how to respond. It means focusing your energy on what you can control and releasing your grip on the rest. When you can master this, it not only brings you peace, it makes you unforgettable. You become the person who navigates life with calm and clarity, even in the face of hardship. As Marcus Aurelius so brilliantly observed, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." In this paradox lies a powerful truth. Our obstacles are not merely challenges to be overcome, they are the very path forward. When you learn to accept what you cannot change and focus on what you can, you transform obstacles into stepping stones. And people notice when you handle adversity with this kind of grace. When you remain composed while others are lost to stress or complaint, you stand out. It reveals a deep strength, resilience, and wisdom that people will remember. Of course, acceptance is not always easy. It is natural to resist things that don't go our way. We want life to unfold according to our plans. But Stoicism teaches that trying to control the uncontrollable only leads to frustration. Instead, we should focus on the domain of our power, our thoughts, our actions, our reactions. As Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This is the core of acceptance. While we cannot always control events, we always control our response. Imagine you are facing a difficult situation. Most people would waste energy fighting what is already happening, complaining or becoming stuck in frustration. But you choose to accept the situation for what it is. You don't waste time wishing things were different. You simply ask, "Given this, what can I do now? How do I move forward?" This shift in mindset not only brings peace, but it makes you more effective. People will see that while others are mired in denial, you are the one adapting, moving forward, and staying focused. Acceptance is not about giving up. It is about freeing yourself from the mental and emotional drain of resisting reality. When you accept what is, you reclaim your energy for what you can influence. It is about making peace with the present so you can move toward the future with purpose. That is not passivity. That is power. When you can look at a difficult situation and calmly say, "All right, this is what is happening. What is my next step?" You become a person others look to for guidance. Think about how rare that is. Most people, when faced with adversity, get stuck. They let their emotions cloud their judgment. But when you are the one who can accept reality and keep moving with grace, you become memorable. People will recall how you handled hardship, how you stayed calm when others panicked, and how you always seemed to find a way forward. This practice also brings a profound inner peace. When you are no longer at war with what you can't control, you free yourself from immense stress. You become more resilient, more adaptable, and more at ease with life. and that inner peace radiates outward, making you a source of stability in a world that is so often chaotic. To live a memorable life is to live a life of purposeful action, where every movement has weight and meaning. This is not about the hollow rush of being busy or the fleeting satisfaction of a checked-off list. It is about acting with intention, knowing why you are doing what you are doing and ensuring your actions align with your deeper goals and values. It is about moving through life with direction, rather than drifting aimlessly. When you act with purpose, people notice. You are not just another face in the crowd. You are focused, intentional, and determined, qualities that make you stand out. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus offered a clear directive. First, say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. This is the blueprint for purposeful action. It begins with knowing who you want to become, and then making choices that reflect that vision. It means you are not just reacting to life, you are shaping your own path. Whether in your career, your relationships, or your personal growth, deliberate choices create momentum. Those around you will see that you are on a mission, and that makes you memorable. So often we get caught up in the busyness of life, doing things out of habit without considering why. It is easy to fall into the trap of just getting through the day. But the Stoics urge us to live with intention. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "At dawn, when you have trouble getting out of bed, tell yourself, 'I have to go to work as a human being. What do I have to complain of if I'm going to do what I was born for?'" He reminds us that we are here to take purposeful action, to live meaningfully, and to make each day count. Imagine waking up each morning with a clear sense of purpose. You know what you want to accomplish, and every action you take moves you closer to that goal. You are focused on what truly matters. That kind of intentional living changes everything. You become more productive, more fulfilled, and more in control of your life, and others notice. They see you moving with purpose and come to respect your determination. You become someone they look up to, an example of what it means to live with intention. Purposeful action is also about ensuring what you do aligns with your values. It is easy to get caught up in the grind, but if you pause to ask, "Is this moving me toward the person I want to be?" you will find clarity. When you act with purpose, you focus your energy on what is essential. That clarity radiates outward. People will see that you are not distracted by the noise, and they will remember your focus. The Stoics understood that time is our most finite resource, and wasting it on the trivial is one of the greatest mistakes we can make. When you act with purpose, you honor your time and your potential. This kind of intentionality is rare, and it is what sets you apart. People will see that you are not just going with the flow, you are carving your own path, and they will be inspired. Living with purpose doesn't mean you have everything figured out. It simply means you are intentional about the steps you take. You move forward with a clear sense of direction. When setbacks happen, and they will, you don't lose sight of the bigger picture. You adapt, adjust your course, and keep going. That resilience, combined with purpose, is what makes you truly unforgettable. Finally, we arrive at the quiet secret to an unforgettable existence: gratitude for the present moment. It may sound simple, a concept often repeated, but its power is transformative. Practicing gratitude, especially for what is right in front of you, can completely shift how you experience life and how others experience you. When you are grateful for what you have and for where you are, it shows. You radiate an energy that is contagious, and people cannot help but notice. This is not just about saying thank you. It is about living in a state of appreciation for the small things. When you do this, people are drawn to you because you bring positivity and light to every interaction. Marcus Aurelius began his days with this reflection. When you arise in the morning, think of what a privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love. Before your day even begins, take a moment to appreciate the simple fact that you are alive. Gratitude need not be reserved for grand events. It can be found in the feeling of fresh air, the taste of your food, or the presence of the people in your life. When you approach life with this kind of gratitude, you see the world differently, appreciating moments that others overlook. This mindset makes you unforgettable because people notice someone who truly enjoys life. Think of the people you have met who seem genuinely happy, not because they have everything, but because they are grateful for what they have. It is a rare quality. Most people are caught up in what they lack, what they are chasing, or what is going wrong. But when you meet someone who is content and grateful, they stand out. You find yourself wondering, what is their secret? The secret is gratitude. They have learned to appreciate the present for what it is, rather than constantly longing for something more. That kind of peace is memorable. It leaves a mark. Gratitude for the present is powerful because it anchors you in the here and now. So often we are lost in worries about the future or regrets about the past. Gratitude pulls us back to this moment. It reminds us to appreciate what is happening right now. When gratitude anchors you in the present, the pull of what's next dissolves. You become fully engaged in the moment, and this deep presence is something people can tangibly feel. Imagine a conversation with someone who isn't merely there in body, but is entirely present in spirit, appreciating the interaction for its own sake. They are engaged, listening with intent, and honoring the time you share. Such an encounter is as rare as it is powerful. Of course, gratitude can be a difficult practice, especially when the currents of life turn against you. Perhaps you've had a rough day, or your path has diverged from the one you planned. In those moments, the temptation is to focus on what is missing or what has gone wrong. But it is precisely then that gratitude becomes most essential. Even in the crucible of difficult times, there is always something for which to be thankful, no matter how small. The Stoics understood this well. They believed that finding gratitude in hardship is what forges resilience, strengthens the soul, and profoundly shifts our perspective. Instead of dwelling on what you lack, you learn to find the value inherent in every situation. And when you do, people notice your strength. They see an ability to find light in the darkest of times, and that is a quality that makes you unforgettable. This spirit of gratitude also makes you more approachable. A grateful heart has little room for complaint or criticism. Instead, it focuses on what is good, and this positive orientation naturally draws people toward you. They feel uplifted by your energy, by your capacity to see the silver lining. You become someone they want to be around, because your attitude makes them feel good. Ultimately, people remember how you make them feel. When you consistently bring a sense of appreciation and joy to your interactions, people cannot help but think of you fondly. They remember the warmth you bring to conversations, the way you make them feel valued, and the positive energy you exude. Beyond the impression you leave on others, the practice of gratitude bestows a profound personal gift, a sense of peace. When your focus is constantly on what you lack, life becomes a struggle, a perpetual chase for something more. But with gratitude, you begin to feel content with where you are. You realize that even if life is not perfect, there is still so much to appreciate. That contentment is visible in how you carry yourself. You are not perpetually stressed or anxious about what's next. You are grounded, and that composure makes you stand out in a world that is always rushing ahead. The Stoics understood that gratitude is not merely a pleasant sentiment, but a necessity for a meaningful life. It helps us focus on what we can control, on the things that bring us joy, and on the relationships that truly matter. When you are grateful, you become more present, more thoughtful, and more connected to the people around you. People don't just remember what you do, They remember the energy you bring. And when you infuse every moment with gratitude, you leave a lasting impression of warmth, positivity, and grace. This brings us to our final principle: emotional intelligence, the subtle art of becoming unforgettable. This is one of the most powerful tools you can possess, a quality that truly distinguishes individuals. Emotional intelligence is the capacity to understand not just your own emotions, but the emotions of others. It is the ability to navigate the complex inner world of feelings with grace, empathy, and self-awareness. When you master this art, you not only gain control over your own emotional state, but you also connect with people on a much deeper level. And when you can do that, people will remember you. So, what is this art? It begins with self-awareness, the ability to recognize what you are feeling, why you are feeling it, and how those emotions influence your thoughts and actions. This awareness is then paired with self-regulation, which is the skill of managing those emotions, allowing you to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. Yet, this is only half of the equation. The true power of emotional intelligence is unlocked through empathy, the ability to tune into how others are feeling, to understand their emotional state, and to respond in a way that supports and uplifts them. When you bring these elements together, you become someone who is not only emotionally balanced, but also deeply attuned to the people around you. That is a rare skill, and it is one that makes you unforgettable. Consider the people in your own life who seem to truly understand you, the ones who listen without judgment, who seem to grasp what you're going through even before you have fully expressed it. These are people with high emotional intelligence. They don't just hear your words, they perceive your emotional cues, your tone, and your body language. Because of this, they connect with you in a way that feels authentic and meaningful. You remember them not for what they said, but for the feeling they left with you, a feeling of being seen. This is the power of emotional intelligence. It leaves a lasting emotional imprint. This discipline is deeply woven into Stoic philosophy, for it is fundamentally about mastering your response to the world. As Epictetus taught, it is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Emotional intelligence embodies this principle. It is having the self-awareness to recognize your emotions, and then the control to respond in a way that aligns with your values. When you can regulate your emotions with this level of skill, you naturally become someone others look up to and respect. Why? Because emotional stability is a rare and valued quality. When you can remain the calm eye of the storm, your stability becomes a beacon that others cannot help but notice and admire. The other side of this, as mentioned, is empathy. Empathy elevates this skill into a relational superpower. It allows you to connect on a plane that transcends mere words, tuning into the subtle frequencies of feeling that lie beneath the surface. In a world where so many feel unheard, the simple act of listening with genuine empathy is a profound gift, one that makes you truly unforgettable. Think of how it feels when someone really gets you, when they don't just offer advice, but listen, reflect, and truly understand your perspective. That kind of emotional connection creates a bond that is hard to break. It deepens friendships, strengthens relationships, and builds unshakable trust. When you are the person who can connect with others on this level, you become someone they want to keep in their lives. Emotional attunement also transforms you into a masterful communicator. When you are aware of your own emotions and those of others, you navigate conversations with greater clarity and purpose. You know when to speak, when to listen, and how to tailor your message in a way that resonates. You are no longer just exchanging words. You are weaving connection and building trust with every interaction. And when you communicate with both heart and mind, people naturally gravitate toward you. They remember the conversations where they felt truly heard and understood, and they associate that feeling with you. It is vital to understand that emotional intelligence is not about perfection or the suppression of feeling. It is not about pretending to be calm when you are not. It is about acknowledging your emotions, understanding them, and then choosing how to express them. It is about being authentic, but with a mindfulness that is both thoughtful and constructive. And the best part is that emotional intelligence grows with practice. The more you tune into your own emotions and those of others, the more intuitive the process becomes. Over time, it becomes second nature. The simple truth is that we are all emotional beings. No matter how logical or rational we strive to be, emotions play a monumental role in how we experience life and connect with one another. To master emotional intelligence is to tap into this fundamental aspect of the human condition. You begin to engage with people on a level that goes beyond mere words or actions. You engage with their hearts, and that is what leaves a lasting impression. How then do you begin this practice? It starts with the quiet work of self-awareness. Check in with yourself throughout the day. How are you feeling? What is driving those feelings? From there, you cultivate self-regulation. When emotions run high, pause before you react. Grant yourself a moment to decide how you wish to respond. Finally, in your interactions with others, you practice deep empathy. Listen not just for their words, but for the emotions behind them. Ask yourself, how can I better understand and support this person? When you cultivate emotional intelligence, you are not just becoming more self-aware. You are becoming someone who connects with people on a profound level. And in a world where genuine connection can feel scarce, that is what makes you unforgettable. People won't just remember what you said or did. They will remember how you made them feel. That is the secret to making a lasting impact, to building relationships that matter, and to becoming someone who will always be thought of. As we conclude our journey, hold this thought. The way you carry yourself, manage your inner world, and connect with others through these timeless principles is the very essence of what makes a person unforgettable. Every day is an opportunity to live with intention, to act with purpose, and to leave a lasting impact on the world around you. The power to shape how others remember you lies entirely within your hands. Thank you for being a part of Stoic Journal. If you found value in today's discussion, I encourage you to explore one of the suggested videos on your screen to continue your path toward growth and wisdom. Stay strong, stay wise, and keep embracing your inner Stoic. We'll see you next time.